I really enjoy good food and good wine, and like a lot of people, can overindulge, especially at times like Christmas or holidays, and pretty soon you're left feeling lethargic and uncomfortable, and this can be because of course you put weight on and generally just feeling a bit below par. And you know that not only could you look a lot better, but you could feel a whole lot better too. I have tried a whole raft of different diets, and to be quite frank, none of them have had any long-term effects at all, and all of them have focused on losing weight, which is fair enough, but none of them have given any regard at all for how you're actually left feeling. And then I discovered my first detox, and what a revelation. The results were dramatic. Not only did weight fall off me, but I felt completely rejuvenated, both in body and mind, and experienced a boost of energy I hadn't felt for years. But first, you need to know how the plan will unfold. The first section of the programme gives you some important information about detoxing, things you should know from the start. It also provides an insight and understanding of the detox process. The second section is a day-by-day plan. This gives you a daily meal plan, some wonderfully refreshing and pampering treats, and sometimes a little exercise. I'll sign off each day with my detox diary. The third and final section deals with life after detox. Now, you can use the accompanying booklet for meal plans and recipes if you like, but do watch section 2, the 10-day plan, one day at a time. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Well, I'm with Michael Van Straten, who is this country's leading naturopath. Now, Michael, what is detox?
Good question. Detox is a number of different things to different people. The most important thing about detox is that it's a cleansing process. Of course, it's limited food intake, less calories, you'll lose weight. But weight loss is not the prime objective. That comes as a bonus, if you like, if you need to lose weight.
Certainly, as a woman of my age, I not only want to lose weight, I want to actually feel better. I want to have that energy back in my life. And
that's much more important.
It is. Or just as important, actually, Michael.
Well, but you know, you've tried all the diets, I'm sure, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
The cabbage soup, the banana diet, the hard-boiled egg diet, disaster, the Atkins diet, even more disaster. You've tried them all.
Yeah.
Of course you lost weight, but did you have any long-term benefits from them?
Not long-term benefits, no, sadly.
That's the difference. A proper detox regime is designed to firstly boost your body's immune system, so that it builds up your resistance to all the bugs and infections and illnesses that are going round.
Yeah.
But more importantly, in the long term, it's a cleansing process. It gives your stomach a rest, so your whole digestive system eases up a bit. It gives your liver a rest. And you know, your liver is the body's sewage plant. The liver is where you clean the blood, you get rid of all the waste products and the toxins. If you're not putting all the rubbish in, there's much less work for it to do, and the kidneys. Yeah. So they all have a bit of a rest. It's body, mind, and spirit that benefits from the detox.
Michael, what will people expect and how are they going to feel when they do this detox?
I think what people expect is often a bit of a false idea. They sometimes expect too much and sometimes they don't expect enough. What they're going to feel is ups and downs. Of course, when you change your diet radically like you're going to on this sort of regime, there's a bit of a downside, but it's very short-lived, and we'll deal with how people overcome that as we go along.
What are the worst side effects? I mean, what's the worst that can happen in a 10-day detox?
People get a bit grumpy.
Yeah.
A lot of people get grumpy because they feel deprived.
Yeah, yeah.
And this isn't deprivation. You have to look at it as a really positive step, something you are doing for your own good health and long-term benefit. And long-term is the key. People get headaches sometimes, especially if they're big coffee drinkers, because caffeine withdrawal can cause terrible headaches. But it's only for a day or two. They'll get the shakes a little bit, they tremor. If you're drinking 8, 10, 12 cups of coffee a day, and lots of people do that and more, then you will notice it. But within 2 or 3 days, that all just goes away.
Very much so, although I'm not a big coffee drinker, so I didn't have the headaches. But in fact, if anything, I had a great sense of well-being, of calmness, far less irritable than I can sometimes be. And I made a note of that. It's interesting.
And I think probably that's because you actually approached it with a very positive attitude. You knew you were doing something good.
Yeah.
You didn't approach it as a penance.
Michael, tell me what the benefits are of a detox.
The physical benefits are very simple. First, it improves skin, hair, and makes your eyes brighter. Your nails improve. You will lose some weight if you need to. And if you're overweight, you will lose some pounds during doing the diet. Your digestion will improve. You will sleep better. You will feel mentally much more alert, much more focused.
Yeah.
And overall, you will feel a sense of well-being, of calmness, of achievement, especially when you finished it, because it's a great sense of achievement. So that's a sort of nutshell of why it's really worth doing this.
I've seen 2, 3, 4-week detox programs. This is a 10-day one. I mean, would I benefit from doing a longer detox program?
In principle, no, there isn't a benefit in doing it longer. The main part of detoxing, which is fasting, is the first 2 days. Nobody should ever fast for more than 2 days at home on their own unless they are doing it under special, highly trained supervision by a qualified naturopath. Right? Because you can get very serious side effects from prolonged periods of real fasting. The whole point of the 10 days is that after the first couple of days, which is the fast, it's then a rebuilding program. It's a return to healthy eating, to normal eating. And as part of that, 10 days is more than enough. And to be honest, less is often more when it comes to detoxing. If you stretch it out to a month, firstly, by the end of week 3, everyone is bored to death. You can't sustain a month's worth of living to some very detailed, very rigid plan. And there's no need. It really is, it's negative rather than positive. So 10 days, the absolute perfect. I've been doing this for 40 years with patients. And believe me, I've heard every excuse under the sun why people had to give up in the middle. So people will see an end to 10 days.
Yes.
And 10 days is just a nice, easy number. And you get there and you feel so good at the end of it that you can't wait to do it again. The real trick to getting this right is to be prepared. And that means doing as much of the shopping as you can in advance. Obviously, if you're buying fresh produce, the more often you shop, the better, ideally every day. But we can't all do that from a practical point of view. So make your list, and there is a complete instruction list with the accompanying booklet. So you don't have to write it all down now, it's there for you. You will need lots of fresh fruit. Apples, pears, pineapples, kiwi fruits, oranges, particularly plenty of lemons. You'll need good olive oil, and you'll need lots of good vegetables, especially things like celery, onions, peppers. These are all cleansing and diuretic. They help the body to get rid of the stored up toxins. You'll need garlic. You'll need things like radishes. Radishes stimulate the gallbladder. It produces more bile, you break down the fats, you digest your food better. Very important. Most importantly, if there's something here you don't like, don't use it as an excuse to quit. Use a sensible substitute. If it says spinach and you prefer cabbage, have cabbage. But obviously, you must not substitute radishes for cream buns or donuts. Now, if you like to cook, of course it's much better to do it all yourself. Lots of people don't actually have the time. And you can cheat healthily, because lots of things are available already for you to use. So when you're making your stir fries, when you're making the vegetable soups, you can buy cartons of good soup, which is organic. You could buy packets of ready prepared stir fry vegetables, ready washed bags of salad. Yes, they're a little bit more expensive, but if saving you the time and giving you the convenience means you are going to stick to this plan and follow it right through to the end, that's how you're going to get the maximum benefit. You are going to be doing without much food for part of this 10 days. What you mustn't do without is fluids. You need to be drinking lots and lots of liquids. Water, tap water is fine, filtered water, or you could use any of the popular mineral waters, but not the gassy ones. One thing I do recommend are all the herb teas. They're delicious. China tea. If you're really, really desperate, very weak Indian tea, but no milk, no sugar, no honey, no sweetness. Very important. One of the most effective drinks is parsley tea, and you can make that at home yourself. One product that I do recommend to all my patients who are doing this plan is something called Pure Plan. It's simplicity itself to use. You just put one measure into a litre of water first thing in the morning. Make sure you've drunk it all by the end of the day. And it contains all those herbs which help to stimulate the detoxing process. Things like artichoke for the liver, more parsley, dandelion for the kidneys and bladder, burdock for the digestion. Things you've heard of since childhood. I recommend it, but it's not essential. And you can follow this plan perfectly well just by eating the foods and drinking the fluids that are listed in your programme. Now, there are some people who should not detox at all. Obviously, if you have any sort of diabetes, if you have severe heart disease, if you have any sort of eating disorder, if you have any of the wasting illnesses or severe bowel diseases, don't do the detox. If you've had any other sort of illness in the last month or two, do have a check with your health advisor to make sure that it's okay for you to do it. For all the rest of you, and that's most people, it can't do you anything but good. Lots of my patients phone me up as soon as they get home with this plan, and they say, "You've made a mistake. You forgot to put the quantities on. There are no weights and measures." And the fact is, there aren't any weights and measures, trust me. You don't have to weigh, count or measure anything, especially calories. What you need to do is use your common sense. Don't be greedy and don't be miserly. It's really important that you eat all the food that's on there. And as we said earlier, you can always substitute if it's something you don't like, but make a sensible substitution. But don't think that by eating less, you're doing better. You're not. Apart from a couple of good knives, a chopping board and a saucepan, you don't need much equipment to follow this particular plan. But there are lots of juices, and if you want to get a juicer, the range is enormous to suit every pocket, every style, every type of home. You can get juicers that cost £20, you can get juicers that cost £500. Look around, see what suits you. Whatever you decide to buy, please, please, in the end, don't ever put it in a cupboard. Once a juicer goes in a cupboard, you forget it's there. Keep it on the kitchen top, use it every single day. You shouldn't need much in the way of nutritional supplements following this diet. After all, it's only for 10 days, and unless you've been really, really bad about your eating in the previous months, you're not going to go short of anything much. You might like to take a little bit of extra vitamin C. You might find it useful to take an artichoke extract because that stimulates the gallbladder, it produces more bile, it improves the fat digestion and actually leads on to better elimination. So you might consider that. Two things that I really do recommend that help you in the eliminative process is the Swiss herbal tonic Biostrath Elixir, which is a general immune booster and helps to keep you really up and running and gives you a bit of extra energy. And also something called Beneflora. Now, there's quite a lot of yogurt around this diet. Some people don't get on that well with dairy products or don't like yogurt very much. Beneflora is a supplement which contains millions and millions of the natural friendly bacteria which you need in your gut. So sprinkling a sachet of that over your meals once a day is probably a good idea, particularly if you're not eating the live yogurts. Apart from that, good food, plenty of fluids and a bit of extra rest, you'll be absolutely fine. Days 1 and 2 are the key days of controlled fasting, and this helps to kick-start the whole detoxifying process. On days 3 and 4, we begin to introduce some steamed vegetables, some fresh, and some soaked dried fruits. Day 5 is the rice day. Days 6 to 10, we have a gradual reintroduction of much more normal foods like carbohydrates and proteins. Now it's time for a detailed plan of what you're going to be eating today, day 1 of your detox. As soon as you wake up in the morning, first thing, a large glass of hot water with a thick slice of lemon. It must be an unwaxed lemon and preferably organic too. For breakfast, you get another glass of hot water with the lemon and you get a mug of ginger tea.
Now I use tea bags. Is that allowed?
Oh yeah, fine. Tea bags are very convenient. They don't quite taste the same as fresh. And also when you grate the fresh ginger, you release all those wonderful essential oils, the gingerols. They're what have the stimulating effect. So if you can get fresh ginger and grate it, you just get a slightly different taste, slightly stronger benefit. Middle of the morning, you guessed, another glass of hot water with a slice of lemon. Lunchtime, you get a mug of ginger tea and you get a large glass of beetroot, tomato and celery blended together. Mid-afternoon, surprise, surprise, another glass of hot water with a thick slice of unwaxed lemon.
So what's with unwaxed? Is that important?
Oh yes, I'm glad you asked. It's very important, Kim. All citrus fruits are covered in a wax coating before they're shipped from wherever they grow. And if you peel the fruit and eat the inside, doesn't matter. When you put a slice of the lemon with the peel on into your hot drink, that wax dissolves and you swallow what's left of it, and it's not a nice thing to be putting inside you. For your supper, you can have a large glass of kiwi and pineapple juice and another mug of ginger tea. In the evening, you're going to have a glass of orange juice mixed with 2 teaspoons of ground almonds.
Now, I really loved that. It was quite filling as well, which helped going to bed with an empty stomach. It really helped. It was very tasty.
Yeah,
why the almonds?
It's nice, but it's there for a purpose. The almonds provide you with some protein, which you're not getting much of. It also makes the juice much thicker and more substantial. So as you said, it's filling and it feels good. But also all nuts, almonds in particular, are rich in B vitamins, in minerals, and particularly in the essential fatty acids, which is so important as part of your normal bodily functions and overall development. Just before you go to bed, you can have a cup of chamomile tea with a teaspoon of organic honey. Kim, here we are, day 1 of the detox. Water is vitally important. As you know, you've got to drink lots because it flushes the whole system out and speeds up the process, but also water in the bath. It really helps you.
Lovely. Oh, lovely. So just some more hot water.
No hot water, cold water. It's going to be a cold bath. This is a therapeutic bath. You can start off with it warm.
Yeah.
Then what we do is little by little add the cold water and spray yourself with the cold shower. And then you put your leg back in the warm water and then spray it with the cold. And then the cold water gets bigger and bigger volume in the bath.
Yeah.
And you end up sitting in an ice cold bath. It's wonderful. Don't look convinced.
No, I am convinced.
You know it works. I'm sure you've done it. You feel really invigorated.
It's a great thing to do.
Yeah, because it gets the blood whizzing around your system.
Yeah.
Because your body is trying to warm itself up. And it's great for the skin. It's great for the circulation. And you feel wonderful.
All right, well, out you all go then. That's fantastic. Thank you very much.
I'm going to rub your back.
No, you're not.
Well, you are a spoiled sport.
Yeah, and you too. Cameraman, out. Everyone out. Thank you. Lovely.
No fun at all. I don't know.
Yeah, well, see you later. Cheerio.
Sadly, many people are obsessed with being thin. Of course, being overweight isn't very healthy, but it's a strange but true fact that being 10% overweight gives you a longer life expectancy than being 10% underweight.
Day 1. Starting my detox after a 2-week food fest in the Dordogne. Have invested in a juicer which works brilliantly. It juiced the pineapple and kiwi to perfection. Enjoyed the ginger tea, very soothing. All in all, not too difficult first day. Even preparing the kids' food wasn't too tempting. 8 p.m, organic orange juice with ground almonds, tastes delicious and distracts me from the roast chicken Hal is cooking for his dinner. Day 2, on waking, a large glass of hot water and a thick slice of organic unwaxed lemon. Breakfast, a large glass of hot water and a slice of lemon. And an orange, half a pink grapefruit, a slice of cantaloupe melon and a cup of chamomile tea. Mid-morning, yes, you've guessed, a large glass of hot water and a slice of the lemon. And for lunch, a large plate of mixed raw red and yellow pepper, cucumber, carrot, radishes, tomatoes, celery and broccoli with a handful of chopped fresh parsley, a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil and lemon juice. All washed down with a large glass of apple juice and a cup of mint tea. Mid-afternoon, another glass of hot water and a lemon slice. For supper, a large bowl of fresh fruit salad, any fruit you like, but must include apple, pear, grapes, mango, some berries, but no banana.
The reason you can't eat the banana is because there's rather a lot of starch in them. It's too early yet. But you can have a good handful of raisins as long as you chew them really slowly.
But why? Why do you need to chew them very slowly?
Because raisins are very, very fibrous on the outside skin. And the digestion of that sort of fibre starts in the mouth. And if you don't break it down in the mouth, it doesn't get digested properly in the stomach. But you can also, after that, have a handful of cashew nuts, as long as they're not salted.
And you can finish with a glass of unsalted mixed vegetable juice. For evening, a large glass of hot water and a slice of lemon. For bedtime, treat yourself to a mug of chamomile tea and a large teaspoon of organic honey.
Kim, day 2, you've got a treat coming already. You've had massage before.
Yes, I love massage.
It's wonderful, isn't it? Crazy. In this country, we're the only place in the world where people think massage is, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, dirty back brigade. It's a wonderful therapy, but you don't need a professional. It's lovely if you've got one, but you can teach your partner, your best friend, even the kids, how to do it. All you need, a little drop of oil, and I always use pure cold-pressed almond oil because it's lovely, very good for the skin. Just rub it on your hands. Cold hands don't help. Nice warm hands. Rub the oil on the skin and just very gently massage it in. And if you're using your thumb as a sort of tool to do the massage, it starts to ache very quickly. You use the opposite hand to press on the thumb, and that's what does the work. You know what it's like. 2 or 3 minutes, your fella gives you a bit of a massage and he says, "Oh, my hand hurts, I can't do anymore."
Absolutely.
Just use the other hand for the weight. And as long as you remember not to press over the bony point, because if I press over your shoulder blade there, that hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
But if you do the muscles, these great big muscles of the neck and shoulders, enormous place of stress holding. Headaches, neck aches, shoulder pains, tension, anxiety, rushing to get the kids to school, endless phone calls. Worst of all, of course, answering the phone and working a keyboard at the same time. And you can get rid of all that just with gentle, rhythmic movements. And if you're a real beginner, try doing it to music, because then you can keep in time with the music and you have a lovely, soothing rhythm. And before you know it, your very willing victim will be nodding off.
Absolutely.
Is that good?
It's gorgeous.
Shall I carry on for 3 days?
Yes, please.
Yes, I thought you'd say that. It may sound strange, but believe me, it's true. The easiest way in the world to lose 2 pounds every single year is to throw away the TV zapper. Because just by getting up and down to change the channels, you'll lose weight year after year after year.
Day 2. Slept well, didn't wake up hungry, enjoyed breakfast and found lunch quite filling. Also made a jug of parsley tea this morning. I'm finding this a lot easier than I thought. I think the timing of this detox is relevant, as I've just started menstruating and my appetite naturally diminishes each month at this time. An evening supper of fruit, nuts and raisins, as well as some vegetable juice, hit the spot. Good to have more fruit and veg in the fridge. The children are helping themselves to it, a little unhelpfully.
Here's your food plan for day 3. As soon as you wake up, another glass of hot water with a thick slice of the unwaxed lemon. Breakfast begins with a large glass of hot water with a thick slice of organic unwaxed lemon, but then you get a real treat, because you can have a carton of organic, low-fat live yoghurt with 1 teaspoon of honey, a dessert spoon of raisins, and a dessert spoon of chopped hazelnuts. Finish off your breakfast with a glass of half orange and half grapefruit juice mixed together.
Tell me, what are the benefits of live yoghurt as opposed to yoghurt that's not live?
It's the friendly bacteria. Live yoghurt still contains millions and millions of the things you've all read about, the Lactobacillus acidophilus and the Bulgaricus and the Casei shirota, all those wonderful bugs that are vital for good digestion, but also they're very important for your natural immunity, and they manufacture lots of the B vitamins actually in your gut. Your stomach contains a kilo of live bacteria, and they get destroyed by alcohol, by antibiotics, by not eating properly. So it's really vital during this detox to replace those and make sure your gut's got lots of them in. You get another treat in the middle of the morning, because you could have a large glass of carrot, apple and celery juice all blended together, and you could have 4 dried apricots and 4 prunes. At lunchtime, you have another glass of hot water with the inevitable unwaxed organic lemon slice, and a large salad of grated red cabbage and grated carrot mixed together. You can put just a drizzle of olive oil on that, and you follow it with a large cup of mint tea. In the middle of the afternoon, you can have a drink of any unsweetened fruit juice that you like. I've used, in this case, kiwi juice, which is just delicious. You get a real feast for supper, because you could have a really large helping of any fresh steamed vegetables. Carrot, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, peas, beans, anything you like. You serve those drizzled with a little olive oil and lemon juice and a generous sprinkling of nutmeg. After that, you can have a glass of grape juice and a cup of lime blossom tea. In the evening, take 4 prunes, 4 dates and a small bunch of black grapes.
Prunes twice in the day. I mean, is that for roughage or a laxative or
Yeah, everybody
sugar?
thinks, prunes, nature's little black-coated workers. Everybody thinks laugh, joke, and in fact they are slightly laxative, but that's not why they're here. The main reason is that prunes are one of the most protective of all foods. There is more antioxidant protection in a prune than in any other single fruit or vegetable. So they're very powerful foods, and they protect you against premature aging, against some forms of cancer, against heart disease, against all sorts of things. So they're there because they're wonderfully healthy, and they taste good.
They taste great, don't
Yeah,
they? So it's
lovely.
not an apple a day, it's a prune a day.
It's a prune a day. Well, 4 prunes a day, and you're absolutely you're away and happy and healthy. At bedtime, you start to get a little starchy food, because you have a cup of China tea without milk and a couple of rice crackers. Day 3, I've got a really different treat for you today, Kim. I'm a great passionate lover of kitchen medicine, using things which you'll find in your kitchen cupboard, in the fridge, in the larder. They're cheap, they're safe, they're all there, and it saves you a fortune on expensive stuff. And one of the things that worries me a bit is all these exfoliants that you ladies are using, these scrubbers they put on their faces, because I think they're a bit abrasive. Obviously, you've got lovely skin, you probably don't need them, but I'm going to make you one which you will enjoy.
Lovely.
What we've got here is a dish of just simple, plain, live, natural yoghurt and some coarse sea salt. And I'm just going to add a couple of teaspoons of the salt. You don't have to weigh anything or measure anything, just hope it comes out. There we are. And give it a good stir. And what happens is, you get the nourishing benefits of the yoghurt, because the yoghurt contains the live bacteria which protect your skin, and it's got nutrients and vitamins in. And as you use it, gradually, little by little, the salt grains dissolve so they don't damage the skin. You just try some of that. There's a sponge. There's the mixture. You put a nice thick layer, don't be mean, put it on your face, and we'll just leave it there for 15 minutes.
Okay.
Don't forget though, when you do wash it off, must use cold water, because it'll set otherwise.
Right.
Just rub it a bit, because you're giving it, that's it. So, how does that feel, Kim?
It's Lovely, very cool and gentle.
And very gentle. Much less abrasive than some of the commercial ones.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you're going to leave that on for about 15 minutes, let the good bugs do their job, and then wash it off cold water, otherwise it'll set hard and more difficult to remove, and your skin will be like a baby's bottom. And it's all there in your kitchen.
Fantastic.
A good treat. Fluid retention is a major problem in terms of excess weight, especially for women. And salt is one of the main causes of fluid retention and high blood pressure. It may sound really strange, but I promise you it's true, that one bowl of cornflakes contains more salt than a bowl of Atlantic seawater.
Day 3. Prepared food for the day as I had to travel to Cheshire to do a show. Prepared breakfast that was delicious, a mix of live yoghurt, raisins, honey and nuts, very satisfying. Bought ready-made organic carrot juice for the journey and really enjoyed the dried fruit. Definitely feeling an improvement in my sense of well-being as well as losing some of my holiday pounds. Had plenty of energy for my concert. Start day 4 with a large glass of hot water and a thick slice of organic lemon. For breakfast, a fresh fruit salad that can include apple, pear, grapes, mango and pineapple with a carton of low-fat live yoghurt, a tablespoon of good quality unsweetened muesli and any herb tea. Michael, you've used sage, why is that?
Sage is a wonderful herb. The name sage means wiseness, cleverness, and it really does help with the brain power and brain function. But more importantly, sage for women is a wonderful, wonderful herb. It helps to regulate the hormones. So any women who have really nasty PMS, or women who are coming up to the menopause, or if just things are a bit out of balance, sage tea really does help. Also, by the way, helps to increase the milk flow if you're breastfeeding. So it's a wonderful herb. And quite by the by, it's a very powerful antiseptic. If you've got a sore throat, take sage tea.
And you just put a few leaves.
A few fresh leaves. Red sage is the most potent for the antiseptic, but any sage is good. 4 or 5 leaves, just tear them roughly, pour boiling water over them, just let them stand. Perfect. But you must cover the water, otherwise all the essential oils just evaporate with the steam. So you put a lid over it, you keep all the good bits.
Mid-morning, 6 dried apricots and a large glass of unsweetened pineapple juice. For today's lunch, a large bowl of lettuce soup and a thick chunk of crusty wholemeal bread. To make the soup, soften onion and garlic in oil. Add the stock and bring to the boil. Stir in the lettuce and simmer gently for 10 minutes. Add the yoghurt. Serve hot or cold, sprinkled with the fennel. How about wheat in a detox? I would have thought it would have been a big old no-no.
Yeah, that's a very common fallacy, Kim. Lots of people think that. And in fact, lots of people think that they're allergic to wheat or allergic to gluten. And that's the biggest modern myth. And it's quite wrong. Only about less than 2% of the public population is really allergic to either of these things. If you are, it's very serious. But for the vast majority of people, it just isn't true. And by the time you get to this stage of the diet, you need the calories that you get from the wheat, otherwise you haven't got any energy. Then you start to feel tired, then you start to feel irritable, and then you quit.
A mid-afternoon snack, 1 apple and 1 pear. For supper tonight, pasta topped with lettuce pesto, washed down with herb or China tea.
Now for day 4, your treat's a little bit different. It's an exercise. But these are isometric exercises. Isometric means without movement. So you're using different groups of muscles to work against each other without actually moving the joints. Start by clasping the fingers of both hands together behind your head. Now lift up your chin and push hard as you can against your hands for 10 seconds. Then relax and repeat again 5 times. For the second exercise, place the palms of your hands against your forehead. Now try to push the chin down by pressing your head against the hands. Hold that for 10 seconds, relax and repeat again for 5 times. Remember, there's no actual movement taking place. For the third exercise, put your left hand against the left side of your head and try pushing your left ear towards the left shoulder. At the same time, push your hand upwards against the side of your head. Hold for 10 seconds, relax, and repeat 5 times. Then do the whole lot again with your right hand on the right side of your head. For the fourth exercise, you can stand or sit in a straight back chair. Raise your shoulders up as high as you can, with your arms just hanging by your sides. Keep that position for 5 seconds. Then let your shoulders drop with their own weight. That's a lot harder than it sounds, because the temptation is to push them down using your own muscle strength. You don't do that at all. You hold them up and you let them drop just with their own weight, and repeat this 5 times. For exercise 5, you can stand or sit on a stool. Push both shoulders back as far as you can, sticking out your chest and forcing the shoulder blades together. Hold this position for 5 seconds, relax and repeat 3 times. Now for the complete opposite in exercise 6. Again, standing or sitting on your stool, push both shoulders as far forward as you can, narrowing the chest and forcing your shoulder blades as far apart as they'll go, with your arms hanging down. Hold this for 5 seconds, relax, and repeat 3 times. Here's a strange fact, but it's true, and most of you will be pleased to hear it. Insomnia is often caused by dieting. Reduce your calories, you get restless, irritable, and sleep just vanishes. So don't try and get too thin too quickly.
Day 4. I love that you get to eat so much fruit on this detox plan, but I also enjoyed the wholemeal bread at lunchtime. The soup was bland. I really miss salt. Have not been hungry at all between meals, which surprises me, although I am taking it fairly easy. Running around after 2 children during these school holidays is as much exercise as I can muster. I'm now interested as to the order of what food you eat and how that affects the day before or after. The hardest part so far is making sure I've got all the food in and fitting it into our little fridge.
Now we get to day 5, and this is the rice day. Very, very important.
And why is it so vital? You said earlier that it was. I couldn't really understand why.
It's all because of a wonderful man called Dr. Schroth. He was one of the pioneering naturopaths back at the end of the 19th century. And he worked out that if you eat lots of rice and not much else, the rice acts like a sponge. It soaks up all the waste materials, all the waste fluids, all the toxic matter, and then you excrete it. So it's a very important part of the cleansing process. The easiest thing is to cook it all first thing in the morning, about 100 grams of raw rice. And here, as you'll see, we've added a little bit of wild rice just to give it that nutty sort of nice flavour. Then you've got enough for all 3 meals. What's really vital is that you drink lots and lots of fluids today. So any of the herb teas that you like, you can drink water, and if you want a real treat, you can have hot water with a slice of unwaxed organic lemon in it too. And it's really important that you have all those fluids throughout the day.
Sounds good, but what's for breakfast?
Breakfast is a generous portion of cooked rice served together with a good helping of stewed apple. And make the apple, don't buy the puree, make your own, with honey, lemon and a good grating of lemon rind. When you've enjoyed all that, you have a real treat, a glass of hot water with a thick slice of lemon. In the middle of the morning, have another glass of hot water with your slice of lemon. At lunchtime, you're going to enjoy another generous portion of cooked rice, and that's mixed with a really good helping of a variety of steamed vegetables. I've used here celery, leek, carrot, baby tomatoes, some spinach, broccoli, green beans, and a good portion of delicious shredded cabbage. During the afternoon, you could have another glass of hot water with a thick slice of lemon. It's more rice during the evening, but now it's going to be mixed with some chopped dried apricots, a really good portion of the flesh of a pink grapefruit, and a handful of mixed raisins and sultanas. Not forgetting, of course, your normal glass of hot water with a thick slice of unwaxed lemon.
For those of you who have not exercised for a long time but want to start somewhere, why not try yoga? When I started, I could hardly touch my toes. Now a year on, I can reach these deep stretches. They've done wonders for strengthening my lower back, and as an added bonus, my whole body is much more flexible, and afterwards you feel a real sense of well-being and relaxation. So if, like me, the gym and running is not for you, sign up for some classes and see how you get on.
Canned fizzy drinks are a disaster. Even if you choose the sugar-free ones, they rot your teeth. But the ordinary cans of cola drink contain 11 teaspoons of sugar in every single can. Strange, but not surprisingly true, that drinking those doesn't help you keep your weight off.
Day 5, Rice Day. I'm noticing a distinct improvement in my appearance, having lost a few pounds. Wonderful. Actually enjoyed the chewy brown rice, especially the stewed apple. Feel very calm, positive and relaxed. Would like to eat a toasted ham and cheese sandwich, but made one for some friends of mine, which was almost as good. The detox is going very well. For breakfast on day 6, 1 large peach with any seasonal berries. For a light meal today, a large green salad, including watercress, celery, raw spinach, basil, coriander, chicory and dark lettuce like cos, with a portion of steamed carrots, courgettes, peas, broad beans and sweet corn, tossed in a mean teaspoon of butter, sprinkled with chopped mint. The main meal today, a large bowl of vegetable soup, and then a large red pepper stuffed with lentils, mushrooms, onion and garlic and steamed spinach. Cook the lentils according to the packet directions. The cooked lentils should still be warm and moist when you stuff the peppers with it, so plan accordingly. First, prepare the peppers. Wash and slice off the stalk end, forming a lid to replace during cooking. Take a sliver off the other end so they don't overbalance during cooking, but don't make a hole. Carefully scoop out the fleshy ribs and seeds. Heat 1 tablespoon of oil and sweat onion and garlic until just translucent. Stir into lentils with all the other ingredients. Season. Stuff the mixture into the peppers, Replace lids and put in a baking tin with boiling water halfway up. Drizzle with remaining oil, cover with foil and bake for 30 to 40 minutes. Delicious hot or cold. To finish, 2 pieces of fresh fruit, any fruit you like, but not bananas.
Of course, the best thing is to make your own vegetable soup, and I'm sure as a cook you know that. But you can buy the ready-made fresh soups in supermarkets, the organic ones. They are expensive, and you don't get a very large pot of soup for quite a lot of money. If you really push for time, it's better to do that than not have the soup. Or some of the canned soups aren't bad. If you look carefully on the labels, there are some which don't have additives and flavourings and chemicals. They're pretty pure. The thing to avoid, honestly, are the powdered packet soups, because they tend to be very, very high in salt and all sorts of other nasties. So what did you do?
Well, I had a lot of organic vegetables and I had some in the garden as well, so I just put them all in a pot and made quite a lot up, and I noticed that I had an awful lot. And also that there's a vegetable soup on day 10, so then I just froze half of it. Because you always make too much, and I hate wasting food, so that was great to make fresh. It was actually, made a lot for not very much money at all.
Kim, day 6, something very close to your heart. Here we are in the bathroom, but we're going to use things from the garden.
Wonderful.
You're the gardener. I'm sure you grow lots of herbs.
We do, yeah.
I bet you don't use them in your bathroom.
You know what? We haven't.
No, in the kitchen, maybe.
Yeah.
But not in the bathroom. And they are wonderful. If you put some sprigs of rosemary like that into hot water and use that as a final rinse on your hair, it's absolutely wonderful. Not for you, because it's for dark hair. Adds a lustre. For blonde hair like you need chamomile. And if you haven't got fresh chamomile, a couple of chamomile tea bags. Normal wash, everything else, and then the final rinse. But I've got other things here, some which you will recognise, like that, for instance.
Nettles.
Now, what would you do with that?
Well, I tell the children to keep away from them, and then I let the butterflies enjoy them.
They make a wonderful astringent tonic for the scalp, a cleansing tonic. So anybody who's got dandruff, put them in the hot water, let them steep. They won't sting you then. Don't touch them before you put them in the water. And then use the water again as the final rinse. I bet you don't know this strange fact, but it is true, that 50% of all women going to fertility clinics have been on some sort of ridiculous weight loss diet in the previous 6 months. If you need to lose weight, do it our way, sensibly.
Day 6. A family day out, so I prepared the food and stored it in Tupperware. Have a general sense of well-being. Good to have a clear head, as there are some important things coming up. Watching weight fall from me is a great incentive to continue without cheating. Admittedly, it was hell making egg sandwiches for the kids today. I love egg sandwiches. But this simple diet plan is perfectly adequate and very user-friendly. Only 4 days to go.
On day 7, you have a wonderful start, because your breakfast is a large bowl of fresh dark red cherries, or any other seasonal fruit, depending whatever's available, with a carton of low-fat, live yogurt. Must be live. You mix all those together, and of course, you can have a drink. When it comes to your light meal of the day, you're going to have a large mixed green salad, and then pasta, aglio and olio. You just smash 3 cloves of garlic with the flat of a large knife, warm them very gently in a pan with olive oil. Take out the garlic, add in the cooked, drained pasta, stir well and serve.
But why remove the garlic? I actually left mine in and it tasted delicious. It cooked quite crispily and it was
You ate the garlic?
I ate the garlic,
Yeah,
yeah.
you see, I would eat the garlic too. I love it. But this is the traditional Italian recipe, and a lot of people, while they like the taste of garlic in their food, would actually draw the line at chewing on a clove of garlic. Great pity, because it doesn't half make you healthy.
It tastes great too.
And it tastes fabulous. Your main meal of the day, which for most of you will probably be during the evening, starts with a good portion of tzatziki, And then you have a lovely chicken breast, grilled, flavoured with some herbs if you like, with baby new potatoes boiled in their skins, some grilled tomatoes, and finish up the meal with a wonderful, delicious, ripe, juicy, but large peach.
I have to say I was really relieved when I saw tzatziki on the menu. It's very yummy. It's got cucumber, yoghurt. It was a bit of a relief, really. It's like my treat.
Yeah, not only cucumber and yoghurt, but the key ingredient is garlic, lots of garlic. It's a Greek traditional dish. They use it as a dip. And in fact, the Greeks think of it as a natural aphrodisiac.
Well, I don't think it had that effect on me.
Day 7, and it's time for the bum's rush. Yes, the eternal question. Does my bum look big in this? Well, won't be tied any man that says yes to that. But if you do this very simple exercise, it never will. All you have to do is to sit on a hard seat. No good doing it on a soft, squidgy cushion. A bench, a kitchen chair is ideal. And simply contract your bottom muscles so that your whole body rises about an inch off the chair. You'll go up and down, contract and relax, contract and relax. And you keep on doing this until the muscles start to feel fatigued. It might be 10, 15 or even 20 times. But again, with practice, and you can do this anytime you're sitting on a chair anywhere, or by the way, if you're just standing at the bus stop, you can practice it too. The more you do it, the tighter those buttock muscles will become. Have you heard the strange but true story of the French paradox? The French paradox means that although the French eat far more fatty foods like cheese and pâté and foie gras, and they drink lots and lots of booze, and they smoke those horrible, disgusting smelling cigarettes, they have far less heart disease than we do. The reason? The French eat 17 times more fruit and vegetables than the average Brit.
Day 7. Cherries and yoghurt. Delicious. Enjoyed a pasta lunch, but I kept the garlic in. Friends round for dinner, so we all had chicken, and I managed to resist the wine. Still enjoying the detox and certainly feeling and looking in much better shape than when I started. Day 8, and this is one of my favourite breakfasts. 2 organic free-range eggs and a slice of wholemeal bread with a scraping of unsalted butter. Lunch, sliced raw mushrooms mixed with radicchio and chicory and drizzled with some olive oil and fresh lemon juice. A slice of wholemeal bread, an apple and a pear. Today's main meal, stir-fried tofu, green and red peppers, spring onions and noodles. And finish with a strawberry smoothie. Just heat oil in a wok, add tofu and fry gently till golden brown. Remove with a slotted spoon, then cook onion, red pepper, ginger and celery on a medium heat till soft but not brown. Add carrots and cabbage, cook for 3 to 4 minutes. Add mushrooms and cook for a further minute. Add water, cover and simmer gently till the vegetables are soft. Stir in soy sauce before serving on a bed of rice noodles. Michael, I really enjoyed the tofu meal. It was really delicious, but I do know there's lots of people who simply don't like it. Is there a viable replacement for tofu?
Of course, tofu is very important. If you absolutely don't like it, you can actually use something like ground up nuts or chopped nuts or one of the vegetable protein alternatives just sprinkled all over the peppers and the onions and all the other ingredients. Well, yesterday we were working the bum. Now you're going to sit on it and relax, because these are some simple exercises you can do in your chair. Start by sitting comfortably in the chair. Lift both knees up as high as you can, getting them as close to your stomach as you possibly can do, without bending forwards. Just hold that position for 10 seconds. Relax slowly and then repeat 3 times. Now, still sitting in the same chair, I want you to cross one leg as high as you can on the opposite thigh. Then, gripping the arms of the chair, lean forward towards the crossed leg as if you were trying to push the chair away from you. Hold that position just for 5 seconds. Relax, then repeat with the opposite leg. And then again repeat the whole cycle 5 times. Now a couple of slightly more strenuous exercises, one for the arms, one for the legs. To exercise the biceps and triceps in your arm muscles, just sit in your chair with a weight, and what I want you to do is just curl your arm up, bending the elbow so that you lift the weight towards the shoulder, very slowly, and then as slowly as you can, lower the arm down till it's straight again. Just repeat that 5 times to work both groups of muscles. And the final exercise for today is to exercise the thigh muscles. And you can do that just by putting some light weights on your ankles. And again, you can use a plastic bag with a can of beans tied around your foot. Sitting in your chair, straighten the leg at the knee, very slowly. When it's absolutely straight, hold it for 2 or 3 seconds, and then very slowly bend it so your foot goes back down towards the floor. Repeat this 5 times with each leg, and you've got strong thigh muscles front and back. The only way to lose weight and keep it off is to eat a little bit less and exercise a little bit more. So it may sound strange, but it's very true, that reducing your intake by 2 slices of bread and butter every day and walking for 15 minutes a day more than you normally do means that you will lose 2 pounds each week.
Day 8. Good to eat some eggs and toast. Actually finding all the meals satisfying, not wanting to snack. I'm a dreadful snacker. Really benefiting from all this fresh, mostly organic food. Feel really healthy and in control of my diet, which often seems to be in charge of me. Feel noticeably calmer and more cheerful. Not sure why, but I feel Detox is doing its bit.
Day 9 starts with a wonderful breakfast, enough to give you energy right through to lunchtime, and I think lots of you will want to keep this as part of your regular daily eating. Take a good portion of muesli, unsweetened of course. Add a sliced banana, lots of fresh berry fruits, as much as you can get your hands on, and mix it all together with low-fat, live yogurt. Your light meal, or probably lunchtime, really reinforces the increase in carbohydrates, because you're going to have a wholemeal pita filled to the brim with a sliced hard-boiled egg and chopped up tomato, cucumber, fennel and lots of shredded lettuce. Today ends with another meal which is really quite high in protein. Start off with a celery salad and then follow that with a baked trout. Fill the fish with a layer of lemon slices, wrap it loosely in foil and bake in a moderate oven for 30 minutes. Serve it with runner beans tossed with a little olive oil and sprinkled with some mixed chopped spring onions and parsley.
Well, you promised to return to normal eating, and I actually had friends round that night, And trout, amazingly, was an offer at the shop. And I've never cooked a trout in my life, and actually it tasted fantastic. We really enjoyed it.
I think you're very brave, having friends around when you're in the middle of a detox regime. But it just shows you actually how easy it is. And you're not alone in not cooking trout or other fish. People in this country have a phobia about fish. My fishmonger says he has a theory of the exploding fish, because people buy fish from him and say, will it be all right till I get home? And they live 3 doors away, and as if it's going to blow up on the way home. Fish is so important, and the oily fish particularly, like trout, salmon, and all the other wonderful herrings, mackerels, those delicious fish, they contain these essential fatty acids, vital for brain development, natural anti-inflammatories, incredibly important as part of healthy nutrition. Everybody should be eating at least 3 portions of oily fish every single week. Don't go out and buy it ready cooked or in batter or whatever. Buy a trout, buy fresh sardines, take them home, and how easy was it to cook?
So easy, it didn't take any time at all.
Right.
But how about tins? Are they a good replacement?
Yeah, some tin fish is great. Tin sardines, pilchards, tin mackerel, they're all absolutely fine. Tin salmon. When you get to things like tuna, be a little bit careful, because there is a worry about heavy metal pollution of tuna, so not too much of that. Kim, day 9, more baths. You were very brave about the cold bath, but it wasn't bad, was it?
No, it was great.
Now you've got a wonderful hot bath, and you have a bath with all sorts of relaxing and invigorating oils in them, essential oils. But here's a start, which you've probably not tried before. This is just a little square of muslin, and I filled it with good old-fashioned porridge oats.
Wow.
Very good to eat, very healthy to eat, very good for the inside, but they're wonderful for the skin. There's a chemical mucilage in the oats, which comes out in the water, and we're going to hang it under the tap so some of it gets into the water. Then you can use it actually as a sponge. And for anybody with dry skin, eczema, psoriasis, it's wonderful for children with eczema, babies with eczema. You can use the oat bag, and it's really wonderful. So that's a good start for your skin. You hang on to that. We'll put that in the bath in a minute. But also, there are all sorts of essential oils which you can add to the bath. You know, you can massage them in. You can also add them to the water. But the important thing is, you need to dilute them in a carrier oil. So what you do, you need at least 1 tablespoon of carrier. I always use almond because it's good for the skin anyway. And then you've got any sort of essential oils that you like. And I've got here a wonderful muscle relaxant. And it's got pine and eucalyptus and all those sort of things in it. Just the job for you. Hard day digging in the garden. Yeah?
Wonderful, yeah.
Trundling around other people's gardens in the wet and the cold and all weathers. You come home, you have your carrier oil, and you just add 5 drops. Just count them in. 1. Ooh, if it comes out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you just give them a little swill around, and then you add that to the bath just before you get in and give it a good swish around. But you could also use any of the relaxing oils. You could use hop oil, you could use valerian oil, you could use chamomile, which is another soothing one. You could use pine, which is invigorating, or rosemary, which really pep you up. Depends what, first thing in the morning, you're going off to work, you want to be up and bubbly, which I know you always are, but it just helps a bit. You come home at the end of the day, you want to relax, you want to unwind, you want to have a good night's sleep. You can do it all in the bath.
Wonderful.
Why not stand up when you speak on the telephone? Strange, but true, it helps you lose weight. Standing uses far more muscles than sitting, and just this simple trick means you could lose 5 pounds every year.
Day 9. Muesli breakfast was a great start to the day. Prepared lunch on the move and really enjoyed the baked trout. I must buy more fish more often. Feel a good sense of accomplishment at reaching this stage of the detox, and I'm determined to carry on the good eating habits of the last week or so. It's a reminder that it's so easy to slip into good habits as well as slipping into bad habits. Day 10. Breakfast on a large bunch of grapes. Our light meal today is a selection of raw vegetables. Anything you like really, radishes, carrot, fennel, celery and olives. A bowl of vegetable soup, a wholemeal roll, and for pudding, a pear. Our main meal today is curried vegetables and a tomato and red onion salad. In a large saucepan, heat the oil and sweat the leek, onion and garlic, stirring continuously for 3 minutes. Tip in the curry powder or paste, stir until it coats the vegetables and cook for another 2 minutes. Add root vegetables to the pan and stir to coat thoroughly. Add the stock, chopped tomatoes and tomato puree and bring to the boil. Cover and simmer for 45 minutes. Drain the broad beans, rinse thoroughly and add to the pan. Continue to simmer until the beans and vegetables are all tender, about 10 to 15 minutes.
Last supper, how did you enjoy the curry?
Fantastic, I really love curry. Of course, I miss the naan bread and the poppadoms, but you can't have everything. And it was really simple to prepare.
Yeah, delicious, great. And what's important about it is that it's something you can incorporate into everyday eating if you like curry. And also it's there for a reason, because the turmeric in the curry powder is heavily known to be an anti-cancer protective. So it's healthy and delicious. And you know, the most important thing about healthy food is it's got to be enjoyable. If there's no pleasure in eating it, there's no point in even starting, because nobody's going to stick to it. "40 years in practice and I've learnt one thing about ladies. They all worry about the same bits. The flabby bits on the back of the arm, the bits that hang over the waistband, and the nasty bits on the inside of the thigh. Here are 3 very simple exercises for those traditional ladies' trouble spots. For the tummy muscles, for the upper arm and chest muscles, and of course for those flabby bits on the inside of the thighs. Start by lying flat on your back, with your feet on the floor and knees bent. Then raise your right knee towards your chest, at the same time stretch across with your left hand to reach the right knee, lifting your left shoulder off the ground. And pushing as hard as you can with both, seesaw backwards and forwards with your arm pressing against the knee and the knee pressing back against the hand. Do it 5 times, relax, pause for a few seconds, and then repeat with the opposite hand and knee. When it comes to the muscles at the back of the upper arm, this is a bit which often gets a little bit crepey, a bit wrinkly and a bit flabby as we get a bit older. What you do is fold your arms across your chest, holding each forearm with the opposite hand. And then push the arms together, holding them as tightly as you can for a count of 5 seconds, and relax, and push, and relax, and push, and relax. This tightens the muscles at the back of the arm and has a lifting effect on the muscles of the chest. Finally, we come to the inner thigh muscles. All you need is a large ball, perhaps the kids have got one, or a cushion. Put the ball or the cushion between your knees as you sit on a straight-backed kitchen-type chair. And then pushing as hard as you can, squeeze the knees together. Hold, this time for 10 seconds, relax, and repeat again as many times as you can. It probably won't be more than 4 or 5, but after a bit of practice, you'll be able to do 10 or 15. Some of my patients tell me they cheat and use a special gel which they rub in and they say helps to relieve their cellulite. Here's the good news. It may sound strange, but it's true that small amounts of alcohol are good for your health. Most people know that a couple of glasses of red wine a day are good for the heart and circulation. And once you've done the detox, if you want to substitute the occasional glass of fruit juice for a glass of good wine, no harm's done. But the good news for ladies especially is that a glass of beer each day is extremely good for your bones. It contains lots of fibre, it contains lots of silicon and lots of B vitamins, so it helps with the PMS as well.
Day 10. Relieved to have reached day 10. Not that it's been particularly hard, more because I've proved to myself that I can exert willpower over what goes in my mouth, even when temptation has been all around. I feel really healthy and have lost the weight that I needed to. I would definitely recommend this detox plan. I have a much improved sense of well-being and have slept very soundly. My mood has definitely improved. I'm calmer, much calmer. And considering it's the school holidays, that's some achievement. So how often should I be doing this detox? I felt so good, I wanted to carry on doing it.
No, you
forever.
mustn't.
No.
10 days is it. You do the 10 days, you stop. You can do it easily 4 times a year. And what I advise my patients to do is to do it seasonally. So that you do it at the beginning of spring, summer, autumn, winter. So it prepares you for what's coming. And the great thing about that is you get to eat then seasonal fruits and vegetables, which is very important. That's when they're at their most nutritious. But the other thing, which I think is very helpful, if you have a particularly difficult time, a couple of weeks of travelling, when you're having to eat in the sort of late night, Indian takeaway, because that's all that's open and that's all the food you can get, or you're living on sandwiches or whatever, then you can do a couple of days. You can do the first couple of days of the diet. You could do the rice day, one off. Some people like to do one fast day each week, just as a sort of cleansing process. So you can pick and choose days that suit you, as long as it's not always day 10, because that's too easy. Kim, my turn to ask the question. You've done the detox. Right? You've finished it. How did you feel at the end?
I felt fantastic. I almost felt like I wanted to carry on doing it, but I didn't. I was quite relieved to get to the end of it. It wasn't as plain sailing as I thought it would be, but it was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be at the same time. So it was kind of a bit strange, but I felt fantastic at the end of it. I'd lost some weight, which was a bit of a relief because I'd just come back from quite a gastronomic holiday in France. So it was a perfect time to do it, actually.
Just right. Yeah.
I dropped the pounds that I piled on holiday, so I was happy about that. But moreover, the very fact that I was doing something for myself, you know, as a mum, I'm taking care of the children, my husband, the house, the home, everyone else, and actually always putting myself last. And it was really good to take some time out, 10 days, and focus on myself and look after myself for a change. It's very important.
That's what detoxing is about.
I know that detox works for me, and I'm sure if you follow this 10-day plan, it will work for you too.